right, welcome back everybody to Dubai, and we're here to watch a very fun matchup with Medvedev taking on Wawrinka, which is a very fun matchup. They've played some really fun matches in the past. Stan is playing his final season, so let's see how this one plays out. Medvedev has, he's been he's been a bit of a roller coaster the last couple of weeks or a couple of months. He's won titles, but then he's had some strange losses where he just it's been a real roller coaster for Medi. And Stan is playing his final season, so he is inspired every time he plays to try and go on and do something. So let's see if he can do that. How we doing, chat? What's going on? By the way, tomorrow I have no idea what we watch because everybody's losing. Everybody is losing, so I don't know what we're going to watch. Acapulco is falling apart. Zverev is the only one left of the big names over there. Maybe we watch Zverev versus Hodar if he does make the quarters. That could be fun, but Demonor, Rude have both lost to qualifiers. Yeah. So Acapulco is looking a little bit different. But this tournament does have all the big names. Today's actually a pretty big day. We're only watching this match, but today's got some big matches, and then possibly tomorrow we've got Menchik, Bublik, Rublev, Draper, FAA, Lehechka. So there are some matches in Dubai maybe tomorrow. But we'll see. Medi's finished, he will lose. Medi's finished. What have you been watching? Have you been watching tennis? You made an account 3 months ago, so you probably haven't been watching tennis that long if you just made an account. 3 months ago, Medvedev won a title. He broke his title drought, so I don't know what are you watching? Are you watching him? He won in Alt-Matty, and then he made the quarterfinals of Paris and lost to Zverev in 3. Then he won Brisbane. Then he made the 4th round of the Australian Open. So, I don't think that's finished. I think that's more of a comeback. Also made the semi-finals of Shanghai and Beijing. So, that looks like a guy who's on the comeback more than a guy who's finished. He lost to Humbert in Rotterdam, which Humbert on indoor hard court is a beast, and he lost to Tsitsipas last week, who played inspired. So I wouldn't call that finished. Finish would be 5 first rounds in a row, and dropping outside the top 50 for me. But whatever. Great match. I actually set my alarm for this one in the middle of the night. I am excited for this one. Stan is the man, and Medvedev is always enjoyable. All right. Pardon me. We have watched these guys play a couple of times before. We watched them play at the Australian Open a couple of years, 6 years ago, and they played a 5-set epic there. Every time they've played, the match has gone. They both won a set. Either they're in a 4-set, 5-set, 3-set match. Every time they've played, both players have won 1 set in each 5 of their matches. 3-2 in Medvedev's favor. So that's fun. So that hopefully will mean that we get a banger today. Apparently, Emma has signed his clothing deal of $2 million with Uniqlo. Thinking about it, I guess Uniqlo have to pay people to wear their awful logo. You said that, not me. I want to get sponsored by them. I'm not letting chat ruin a sponsorship deal. I think their logo looks fine. Nothing wrong with their logo. I have no problem with Uniqlo. I think they're great. That was the chat speaking. All right. They're warming up. And then we will get this started. I can't wait to see Stan hit a backhand winner. I can't wait to see it. Also, Medvedev's serve. By the way, Medvedev is such an all-rounder. I'm looking at his player insights. Forehand, backhand, serve, all very, very evenly, like about a 7.5 to 8 in their rating. So that's awesome. All right. There are a few people there, not crazy busy, but there are a few people there. I tell you, Chad, I'm loving this the ATP graphics starting off these matches. They are so clean. I love it. I love the one that they made for Alcaraz, how it's like a gold one for the number one. I reckon it's just so clean. It's almost like, and the colors they're using too, like that blue and that greeny kind of like neon green. It's just such a it feels a little bit like a throwback. Like that usually, like you'd wear, these days it's always like that. It's not high saturated blue. It would be like a dull blue. But I don't know. I'm just loving how clean it looks. And then recent results, they're showing. I mean, it's clean. It's a clean preview. I like it. I like the ATP. I'm still trying to get used to like after each set what the graphics are supposed to look like, because there's like different, but they're not showing like just like the usual stuff. But I'm liking it, chat. I'm liking the updates that are done this year. You're having pancakes at 3 a.m. Oh, it was a Pancake Tuesday. Whoops, that was yesterday, and I didn't have pancakes. Whoops. Did I see Rude lose in Mexico? I didn't see it, but I saw the result. Yeah, that was a shock. We're gonna have a bingo card for Stan to hit a backhand winner. Completely forgot it was Pancake Day. Yeah, me too. Was that yesterday or was it last week? I can't remember. Was it last week, actually? Might have been last week. When was Pancake Day? It was last week, I think. Yeah, whoops. It was last week. So pancakes. Yeah, whoops. All right. Everything has a day now. Pancake Day's been around forever, though. Pancake Day's been like a thing for decades. I remember at school we used to have Pancake Day. There'd be a special, we'd actually eat pancakes at school. How many days we're on is it now? I don't know. 56. I stopped counting because I didn't think we'd be watching every day this week, and we're probably not going to watch tomorrow. I think it's 56, but Wawrinka in for a thrashing. Really? When I saw this thumbnail, my head said old school. Why? What's wrong with the thumbnail? I worked really hard on that. All right, Stan to serve. Medi didn't play great against Steph the other day. I'm gonna go Stan. I reckon Stan's gonna beat him, but Medvedev should win, right? Oh no, it's that time of day where I can't see. I can't see the ball. It's too bright. The courts are too bright. Return goes to the forehand of Stan. Back into Medvedev to the back of the Stan as Medvedev wins the first point, love 15. Excited for India Wells draw, yeah. Can't wait. Can't wait for that. Love 15. First serve is a fault. Second serve. As Medvedev returns the backhand to stand. Medi backhand. Again to the backhand to stand. As they go backhand to backhand. A backhand again from Medvedev. Stand backhand again. The backhand of Medvedev. Into the forehand of Stan. To the forehand of Medi. Medi hits it out. So many old, good young names coming up. It just made me feel old. Oh, okay. You're talking about like this matchup's an old school matchup. Ah. That makes sense. It is a bit of a throwback. 15-0. As the return goes into the forehand of Stan. Forehand now from Medvedev. To the backhand of Stan. As the backhand from Medi into the forehand of Stan. Again to the forehand of Medvedev. Stan backhand. Goes wide. 15-30. Would Prime Wawrinka beat Prime Medvedev? Yes. Because Prime Stan beat Prime Djokovic. So if he can beat Prime Djokovic, he can beat anybody. Maybe not Rafa on clay. I think Prime Rafa on clay, no one beats him ever. Unbeatable. But Stan beat Djokovic in 2015. That's Prime Djokovic, in my opinion. Around that time is Prime Djokovic. And Stan beat him. So I'm sure Stan could beat Prime Medi. Prime Stan could beat Prime Medi. 30-0. What am I drinking? I'm drinking tea. 30-0. Stan serves a fault. Second serve. The return goes out by Medvedev. 40-30. Seven to the forehand. Medvedev return goes in. Stan comes to the net. Medvedev with a lob. Stan with a smash. Puts it away. 1-love Stan. First game. I'm obviously a Draper supporter, but Rude is such a good, nice guy, and he was long overdue for Masters. Cool. If Medi loses, red alert. Is it? Uh, 1-0. Wawrinka to serve. Sorry, Medvedev to serve. He serves a let. As Medi serves a fault, second serve. Does Brooksby have a legit shot at what? A legit shot at winning the whole thing or winning today? He's playing Hashanov, and Hashanov's been in good form, so it's going to be tough. Slice now from Medvedev. Goes in. Stan with the forehand. Is a winner. Love 15. Crowd of love and Stan. India Wells draw is on the weekend. I'm not sure exactly when. But it's sometime in the future. It's before next Wednesday. It's probably like Monday. Love 15. Serving to the back of the stand. Return goes short. Medvedev forehand. Straight to Stan, who hits a passing shot wide. 15 all. Would Stan be a Grand Slam champion if it wasn't for Federer? Yes. I'm trying to think why Federer would be, besides being from Switzerland. Like, I don't know why would, like, do you think Stan was inspired by Fed? Is that what he's trying to get to? No, 4-4 rally. As Stan sliced down the line, goes long as 30-15. Yeah, I think so. I don't think Federer winning Grand Slams gave Stan belief. I think he was always going to be a good player. You know, there was Hingis before Federer, so it's not like there wasn't any Swiss Slam champs that they could get inspired by. I mean, the Olympics doubles, maybe that helped Stan believe that he could win big trophies. So maybe Federer did it, like gave him some hope because of that. Maybe like gave him some, I don't know, that Beijing doubles. Maybe, I don't know. All right, Medvedev holds 1-0. Uh, 1-1. Sort of fault second serve. Who are the guys in their prime other than Sinner and Alcaraz? I would say Demon Or's probably in his prime right now. I think at the moment we're getting prime Demon. He's playing, besides playing Sinner Alcaraz, he's playing some ridiculous level of tennis. I think we've got prime Demon. Probably prime Bublik as well. I think Bublik's probably at his peak. I don't know if he's going to go any higher. Like, I don't know if he's going to be top 5. He could be. But I think Bublik's probably in his prime right now. He's 28 as well. Oh, 28, so that's usually prime. Maybe Fritz as well. I think Fritz is probably there as well, right? Fritz is probably in his prime as well. I know he won Indian Wells in 2021, 22. But I think Fritz right now is probably, last 2 years, right? Making his first Grand Slam final, pushing Alcaraz to almost 5 sets at Wimbledon last year, beating Alcaraz last year, making the ATP Finals final a couple of years ago. I think we're probably in prime Fritz as well. As that goes wide by Wawrinka, and it's 15-30. Probably Fritz in his prime right now. Yeah. Is that a good answer? When was prime Zverev? I don't know. Maybe 2021, 22, before he got injured. As that goes in the net by Medvedev, 30-all. I'd say probably that Olympic gold medal year, and then going into 2022 is pretty damn good, and then he got injured. Prime Zverev was probably 2022. But I think Zverev still has another. Like, I don't think he's done yet. Like, I think prime Zverev is still yet to, like, he's going to get a slam, and that'll be prime Zverev when he wins that slam. As Wawrinka shanks it, and it's 30-40 break point for Medvedev. So yeah, according to ELO ratings, which is a great indication of prime, Alcaraz is in his prime. Like, he's playing the best tennis he could ever play. As that goes out by Medvedev, we get the deuce. Medvedev's prime was 2022, just after he won that US Open in the start of 2022 when he got to the Australian Open final. Zverev his prime was around the same time, where he started that 2022 season on fire. Prime Wawrinka 2015/16 makes sense. Prime Tsitsipas was back in 21, midway through 21 when he made the French Open final. Prime Rublev was apparently 2021 as well. Dimitrov's prime was 2014 according to Elo. I don't know about that. I feel like he was all right. He was probably prime Dimitrov was 2017, wasn't it? 2018. Advantage Medvedev when he won the ATP finals. I'd probably put him there. But yeah, I'd say prime Zverev. The best we've seen Zverev is probably that halfway, like the end of, like the halfway through 21 and up to the injury in 22. I would say those 6 months. Like he was playing on clay, and people don't remember because we all remember the injury. On clay that year, he was ridiculous. Like he was playing so crazy on the clay in 2022. And then it was a rolled ankle that stopped him from beating Rafa. And he could have beaten Rafa as it goes wide by Wawrinka. It's 2-1. Medvedev gets the break. I mean, he was on fire that clay season as well. Also, I think did he make the semis of Indian Wells and lose to Fritz? Maybe the quarters. He had a decent run in Indian Wells. Did he win the ATP finals in 21 as well? Right, he ended the season with the ATP finals. Let me look. I gotta relook at this. Yeah, so so he wins. Where is it? So he wins the Olympics. He made the semis of the French. He wins the Olympics in 21. He wins Cincinnati. He loses to Djokovic in a 5-setter in New York. Then he made the quarters of Indian Wells, lost to Fritz, who won the whole thing, who made the semis. Well, no, that was 21. He didn't win the whole thing. Then he won Vienna. He made the semis of Paris, lost to Medvedev, and then he won the ATP finals by beating Medvedev. And then 2022, up until the injury, he on the clay courts. So he made quarterfinals of Miami, semifinals of Monte Carlo, final of Madrid, semis of Rome, and then the semis of Roland Garros. He lost to Rune in Munich. So these are the guys he lost to. He lost to Tsitsipas in Madrid, in Monte Carlo, Tsitsipas in Rome, Alcaraz in Madrid, Rune, before Rune took off. He lost to Rune in the first round of Munich, and then he lost to Nadal with that injury, but he beat Alcaraz along the way. But, I mean, if you remember watching that, it was a long first two sets. 10-8 in the first set, tiebreak, Rafa won, and then Zverev rolled his ankle just before the tiebreak in the second. And there was a chance that he could have won that tiebreak, and we could have gone to a third at 1 set all, and it was real physical. And then Rafa obviously won the final against Rude a couple of days later. But I mean, that was that was the best I think we've ever seen Zverev. Not that the injury, like him coming back from injury, makes him worse. Like I still think he's playing very, very well at times, but I don't think he's ever played better than that between the Olympics and the French Open 22. I think that time, that was where Zverev was just going crazy. Like he was just crazy right then. And it was also, I mean, no surprise, it was between like Djokovic getting banned, like getting not let into countries, right? He wasn't allowed into America or Australia at that time. That definitely helps, right? I mean, he beat him at the Olympics anyway, Zverev, so it doesn't matter. Nadal didn't play in 21, so Nadal was out the way. Alcaraz and Sinner weren't a thing yet. Alcaraz was becoming a thing as Zverev, when Zverev got injured, and then he came back and Alcaraz was a thing. But Alcaraz was just coming up at that time. Sinner wasn't a thing yet. So it did coincide with that, but also like that was Zverev's best chances. Takes Djokovic to 5 at the US, and then pushes Rafa for like 2 hours or 2.5 hours for 2 sets. It was something like crazy like that. It was sweaty. It was crazy. but then rolls the ankle, and then when he comes back, Alcaraz is established with a Grand Slam title, and then he had to play Alcaraz and Sinner, which sucks. But I think Zverev still. I don't think he's done. I think he's not done. He's number 4 in the world. All right, 3-1. I think he'll win a slam. Zverev is a multi-slam winner from Timu. See, that's just mean. All right. 3-1. As the return goes into the forehand of Wawrinka and then Stan with the backhand of the net. Love 15. All right, first serve the 4-second serve. I thought he was going to win a slam in 22 before he got injured. Well, yeah, I mean, he could have won that French Open. I mean, he had Rafa. He was working Rafa so much. And then who knows? If Zverev plays the US Open 22, who knows? Like, does he play Alcaraz in the final? Does he beat Alcaraz that year? I don't know. Remember, Djokovic wasn't there either. Nadal lost to Tiafoe. I mean, it was open. If Zverev was there, maybe he would have been able to take it. Love 30 here. Medvedev won the double break. Is it a backhand to backhand rally? Wawrinka down the line. Medvedev with the forehand into the net. And it's 15-30. To be fair, Zverev came back and looked good as before the injury. Since the injury, he's made 2 Grand Slam finals, 3 1000s, and he's been world number 2. Well, yeah. But I still think like the best we've ever seen Zverev, based on like not just on court but in results. Like the period of time would be, I think, between 21 Olympics and 22 French. Like his results, like he was on such a run too. Like, yeah, he's been good since. Like he has had moments. He's not been like a terrible player since. He's made the French Open final, nearly won that. He made Australian Open final, played well there. Like, played well to get there, right? I mean, he's been very, very good, Zverev. As Wawrinka saves another break point, 30-40. But I'm just saying, like, a stretch of time, like, the best Zverev has looked consistently over a period of time would have been that time. Because last year he made the Australian Open final, but then what else did he do? And then when he made the French Open final, he wasn't having the best. I don't remember him. I mean, he won Rome, right? The standards are wide, 4-1 double break. Had Zverev served for the match against Alcaraz, he would have won and probably beaten Djokovic. Okay, maybe. Rome and Paris in 24. Yeah, he was pretty. I mean, 24, he was on kind of on fire too, a little bit at times, not consistently though. Not as consistently as he was back in 21, 22. Who's had a better career, Medvedev or Sasha? Medi. Easy. No, like not even close. Medvedev's Hall of Fame. Like he will be in the Hall of Fame with his career. He's had a Hall of Fame career. Zverev has not done the things that Medvedev's done. Things that some other like a lot of other players haven't done. You know, there's players that have got Grand Slams, but he was number 1 as well. Like Medvedev's had, by far, has had a Hall of Fame career. Sasha has more money. Oh, yeah. Oh. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Because I forgot about it. Yeah. Yeah, yes. Money. 4-1, Medvedev with a double break. As Medvedev serves. Into the corner stand. Forehand from Medvedev. Down the line goes wide, and it's love 15. Zverev will win a slam. Just imagine Zverev had won 2020 US Open, and we would definitely looking and saying that Thiem is the greatest player not to win a slam. Thiem peak is absolute better than Zverev though. Yeah, I mean Thiem won it. Yeah, if Thiem hadn't won a slam, would he have been the best player without a slam? Nah, I don't think so. No, actually, no, not at all. I disagree. Yeah, Thiem is. I mean, peak Thiem. We love peak Thiem, right? Peak Thiem was awesome. But if Thiem hadn't won the US Open, he wouldn't have been the best player without a slam. There was players that, I mean, take away his slam, he made what? 3 finals of slams, right? Okay, good. So is Ruud. And he won 1,000. So is Ruud. So he would have like a similar career to Casper Ruud. Right? I mean, I don't think... Yeah, I mean, take away that... take away the US Open win, and he's... I mean, Zverev has had a better career without a Grand Slam than Thiem. Without a slam. 1540. As a return from Stan, good slice. He comes in net now with a sneaky volley. Nice from Stan. All right, he breaks back, gets one of them back. 4-2. David Ferrer, best player without a slam. $15 love. Nope. 15 love. First serve is a fault, second serve. Serving the backhand of Medvedev. Backhand from Stan to the backhand of Medi as Stan goes into the net. 15-0. Cam saying Medi has a way better career than Zverev is disingenuous. Don't use big words. I'm too tired. 15-0. Jerry, look. Tennis is simple, right? Tennis history is simple. We remember who's number one and we remember who wins slams. It's you can argue all you want that Zverev's had a better career, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, Zverev would trade in everything that he's won, his gold medals, his 1,000s for a slam. And for the world number one ranking, I mean, it's not even close. Like, come on. Like, it doesn't like Medvedev doesn't have to win a gold medal to be like he's already. Come on, it's not like. At the end of the day, what do you play tennis for? Grand slams and being the best. Medvedev's done both of those things. Like, Zverev's number 2 and hasn't got a slam. I mean, that will be if he retired tomorrow. That's what he will be remembered for. Medvedev, in a slower year, would be in the Hall of Fame. Like Medvedev, like it's not even, and that's the difference. Like Medvedev's a Hall of Famer, Zverev is not. Like you can argue all you want about 1,000 titles and gold medals, but man, it's not even close, bro. Like you win a slam, you're in a different league. You get to number 1, you're in a totally different league, right? Like the criteria for being in the Hall of Fame is You've got to have a number one, and you have to have a Grand Slam. Hey, Granite, thank you for the $10. To be in the Hall of Fame, you need to have a slam. That's the minimum. And then being number one almost gets you in. Like Carlos Moya, Ferreira aren't in yet, but Medvedev will get to the Hall of Fame. As that goes out by Stan, 30-40. These two guys could get in the Hall of Fame at the same time. Well, actually, no. Unless Medvedev retires tomorrow. I also love Zverev, and I'm a bit salty. He hasn't won big one. Okay, fair enough. But yeah, you're going to find it very hard to argue that Zverev's had a better career than Medvedev. I mean, you could say, even Team had a better... Again, slams are... You win a slam, and you're up against anybody who hasn't won a slam, there's no contest. Like, there's no... It's like saying, Nadal's better than Djokovic. No, Djokovic has more slams. Like, slams are the first thing you have to have. If they had one slam each, we could talk about it. But 1-0 is enough. You don't need it. Like, there's no other contest. There's nothing... You can't throw gold medals or 1,000s at me. It doesn't matter. One slam against 0. That's it. End of story. That's just how it is. Gold medal is over a slam all day? Yeah, bro, you don't watch tennis. Wrong sport. Advantage for Wawrinka. To just push Medi a little bit in this set. 4-4 rally. Stand in the net. We're back to deuce. Who do you think the greatest player without a slam is? Look, the obvious answer is Zverev, but I feel like we've almost got to... I think with this conversation, we've almost got to exclude Zverev because he's playing. I think the only definitive answer is we can't be like, it's Zverev, and then he wins one, and then we're like, oh, well, now it's not Zverev. I think Zverev has got an asterisk because he's still playing. If you're an active player, then you can't be a part of the conversation yet because you could win one, right? Even though if Zverev retired tomorrow, it'd probably be him. But without including Zverev, because again, he is still playing, and it's disrespectful to say that he's the best player without a slam when he could win one next week. Well, at the French Open, right? I mean, I've always said Nalbandian, and I stick by that. I think Nalbandian is the best player without a slam. He could beat prime Federer when nobody else could even get a set off Federer. Like, he was beating up prime Fed in the mid-2000s when Federer was dominating. And there are so many opportunities that he had to win a slam, and he made semis. He didn't make many finals, but he made a lot of semis. And there was opportunities where he lost. He should have at least won one. Plus, his game was ridiculous. Anyway, advantage Medvedev. Get the double break. So yeah, for me, it's Nalbandian. Special mention Rios, because Rios probably had to win. He should have won the Australian Open against Peter Korda. He let that slip, and he was number one in the world. But I still think Nalbandian. As a backhand return, into the backhand of Wawrinka, backhand from Medi, into the backhand of Stan. It's Medvedev backhand again, the backhand of Stan. Into the forehand of Medvedev, Stan, forehand again. Into the forehand of Medi, a Stan with a slice. In the net, Medi's got the double break again. He's going to serve his set. Tsonga. He's on the short list, but he's not. I wouldn't put him in top 3. I think a lot of people that maybe started watching tennis in 2010 would say Burdick, Ferrer, Tsonga, because they're the guys that did well in the era that was impossible to win. But you got to look back. Especially look back at, Nalbandian was a beast, man. And then Rios didn't get to world number one by accident. He got there by beating players. Would Tsonga have won a slam in another era? Probably, but I don't think it makes him the best player without one. And same with Ferrer. Would Ferrer have won a Grand Slam if he was maybe peaking in the early 2000s? Probably. But I don't think that makes him the best player without a slam. Because he wasn't the best player. I mean, Rios was literally the best player. And he didn't get a slam. I mean, if you want to go literal with the answers, it's probably Rios, right? Because he was literally number one. And that means you're the best. By ranking, you're number one. And he didn't get a slam. So he was literally the best player by ranking without a slam. Now, Bandy, I think, had the best chances to win a slam because Rios still had to play, Sampras. He still had to play Agassi, right? He still had all these crazy people. Whereas Nalbandian, it was before Djokovic. Rafa was only good on clay when Nalbandian was kind of peaking. I mean, Nalbandian should have beaten Roddick at the US Open 2003. He should have got to the final in 2006 against Federer, and he beat Federer a month earlier, or 2 months earlier, at the ATP final. So he would have liked his chances in that 2006 final, where Baghdadis took the final, and he took a set off Federer at Baghdadis. Nalbandian could have done more. Also, there was some French Opens that Nalbandian was made the quarters and semis of, and there was opportunities he could have won the 04 French when Federer was out there. Nadal hadn't started, and Gaudio stole it. That was an opportunity, right? I mean, Nalbandian made a lot of semis that he should have converted into finals and possibly into titles. And if you watched his game, he had an inside-out forehand, inside-out backhand. He could play at the net. He could go down the line. I mean, he could change direction on the ball and fool everybody. Plus, he could drop shot. I mean, he had a lot of shots. Like, he had as many shots as anybody could have. All right, 15 all. I'm probably missing somebody. There's probably somebody in like the 80s that was really, really good too. But all right, 15-30. All right, 15-30. Where would you rank Monfils without a best player without a slam? I don't know where I'd rank him, but I wouldn't put him on the top three. Because Monf doesn't even have a 1,000 title. So it's hard for me to say he's the best player without a slam if he hasn't got the second biggest trophy. ACMT, Medi, 7 points. Philippoussis? Yeah, maybe. Maybe you can make an argument for Philippoussis. 40-30. Henman's got to be on that list. ACMT, Medi wins the set, 6-2. Henman's got to be maybe top 5 as well. I mean, you got to put Henman on there because he was... Okay, Pete Sampras was like the king of serve volleys, but, and maybe Henman got caught up in he was just born, 5 years early, 5 years too late, but you got to say Henman's got to be on that list somewhere. Medvedev, by the way, 8.4 performance rating compared to a 7.0 for Stan. Medi with a very solid serving by Medvedev. Only got broken the one time, but 9.1 quality on the serve. And one. A lot of points on that first serve. Medvedev didn't hit any winners. That is weird. He hit no winners. That can't be right. How do you win the set? Maybe off his serve? That can't be right. He didn't hit any winners. He won the set. That's weird. Do you think we would see Medi Felix Cam? Probably. Tim didn't win a slam because he forgot to win 1 point at a time. Okay. I find it funny they name a hill after Henman and he never won a slam. Savage. It's because he came the closest before Murray. So it just sounds fun. Henman Hill is just fun to say. British tennis is a very interesting would make for a very interesting case study. Tim Henman's career should be studied, to be honest. Let me have a look at his record. Henman made 4 1,000 finals, won 1 in Paris. I mean, he was one of those guys that in that era between 2000 and 2004, I mean, he should have. That was it. He had a window like Leighton, like Roddick, post Sampras, pre Federer, like that. If you were playing tennis between 99 and 2004, besides Agassi in Australia, you had an opportunity. There were chances. I mean, Goran, he took a chance in 01, right? Actually, you know what? It would be 2000 to 2004. That was it. That were the opportunities. And some players took them. Some players didn't. I mean, Henman made 4 Wimbledon semis. In 2004, he made the French. He should have won the French Open 04. He lost to Correa in 4. And Gaudio has admitted as such that if he played Henman in the final, he would have lost because Henman was in his head. Henman lost in 04 US to Fed, so that was no shame. Federer did not take prisoners that year. We don't need to talk about the final. And then he lost to Leighton in 02. So yeah, 02 Wimbledon. Leighton beat Henman. And then then Leighton won the title. 01 Wimbledon. He lost to Goran in 5. That's probably Henman's best chance. He got 2 sets to 1. And he had a tiebreak 4th set. He loses the match. Goran beats Rafter in the final. I mean, 01 was the chance. He lost the 4 sets to Sampras in 99 in Wimbledon, and he lost to Sampras in 98 in 4 as well. So it was his best chance of making the final was definitely that 01, and then could have won the title. 30-40. Return goes out by Medi, and Stan gets a deuce. Ferrer and Moya could have had another. Did Moya make an Australian Open final? I mean, I know that Ferrero made the final of the US. Double fault stand advantage. Raducanu is still the best British female in 70 years. With only one title, British tennis really does need to be studied. Yeah. All right. First serve of the fault, second serve. As it a backhand rally. Medvedev looking for the break in the second. The Stan goes to forehand of Medvedev. Stan backhand into the backhand of Medi. Again, the backhand Stan. Medvedev backhand into the backhand again of Stan. To the backhand of Medvedev. Stan backhand again in the backhand of Medvedev. Into the backhand of Stan. Medi backhand again to the backhand of Stan. And Medi with the backhand down the line. Stan with the forehand again to the backhand of Medvedev. Into the slice of Stan. Medvedev backhand again. To the backhand of Stan. Stan in the net. Medi just outlasting Stan in these rallies. One love Medi with a break in second. '97 versus Sampras. I think Moya at the AO. Yeah, he did make a final of the AO, I'm pretty sure. Don't remember. I remember Ferreira losing to Roddick in the US. Yes. Stan Wawrinka, 3-time champion. Please retire. This is embarrassing. How bad is Stan with this terrible performance? Both of you should respect the man. You should sit back and zip your mouth. You shut your mouth. You're talking about Stan the man. You shut your mouth. One love Medvedev. You sit back and you just shut up. I don't want to hear your complaining. You're talking about Stan the man. You need to zip it. 15 love. You need to respect. You respect this man. 15 love. Medvedev serves the fault second serve. All right, forehand to the back end of Medvedev. Stan comes in. Puts away the smash. 15-0. Stan will hit a backhand up the line. That's it. You watch out. If you don't respect Stan, then you don't love tennis, to be honest, yeah. Someone tells me they might be losing some money on some bets. Because you don't come in here and show that kind of disrespect to Stan the man Wawrinka unless you're losing some money and you're just salty. Medvedev hits it out 15-30. Like, unless you've got like a financial, and that's, by the way, that is on you. That's your fault. Don't come in here and start complaining about Stan's performance on your bad betting. By the way, speaking of players who won in the 2000s, Thomas Johansson is coaching Medvedev. And he that's like, Henman could have won a slam if Thomas Johansson was winning slams. Like, there was opportunities in the early 2000s. 15-30. Stan backhand. To the back of Medvedev. Stan with the backhand down the line. Medi gets with a forehand into the forehand of Stan. Medvedev forehand again. To the backhand of Stan. Sliced. To the back of Medvedev. Forehand from Stan again. To the forehand of Medvedev. Medi hits it out. 15-40. Break back points for Stan. Medvedev serves. Into the back of the Stan. Return goes to the front of Medvedev. Hits a slice. Drop shot. Winner. All right. That was such a Medvedev shot. 30-40. That was a classic Medvedev. Like a weird slice. Drop shot, forehand, drop shot, winner. All right, return goes in the back of Medvedev. I hate this courtside camera. What is this courtside camera? Come on. Give us an elevated view. Backhand rally. Can't see what's going on. There's Medvedev with a forehand into the backhand of Stan. Medvedev forehand again. Into the backhand of Stan. And Medvedev forehand again. Into the backhand of Wawrinka. Backhand out from Medvedev on the stretch. Stan, backhand down the line. There's the winner. That's the shot. 1-all. Been waiting all day for that one. And he gets it on a break point as well. That's what we came to see. Stan with the one-hander. Just a bullet down the line. Oh, dead straight as well. Just dead straight. God, that is just pure muscle. Whoa. And then the yell afterwards as well. He just needed to point to his head and it would have been vintage. He hits the backhand and he roars. That is why we watch the man. And you just sit back and respect. All right, 1-1. All right, that's good. I'm good. Anything else now? What happens? Whatever. We got what we wanted. That's what I wanted to see. That just one backhand, vintage backhand for Stan. 1-1. Medvedev backhand into the forehand of Stan. To the forehand of Medvedev. Stan forehand slice in the net. Love 15. That view reminds me of Top Spin 1 on Xbox, yeah. That view is shocking. I don't know what the producer of this tournament decided, but that is a terrible idea. Do not do courtside cameras during important moments. Do them at 15-all, right, for a change in scenery, but we need to get we needed that high-level camera when Stan's hitting the backhand down the line. We can't be looking courtside when we can't see shit, all right? Don't do that anymore. 15-all. No more courtside camera when we get on break points. Come on, that's crazy. That's crazy. You might as well just show what people are doing outside. We missed the whole thing anyway. 15-all. As Stan serves a fault, second serve. And the return goes into the forehand of Wawrinka, back in from Medvedev. Into the slice of Stan. Medvedev forehand into the forehand of Stan. Stan goes wide, 15-30. Murat's sister's probably the best player not to win a slam on the women's side, isn't it? Yeah, I would say that Safina is probably the best player without a slam on the women's side. Yeah. Yeah. I would say yes. People are going to say Pliskova because they've only been watching tennis for 10 years, but I would say 1,000,000% Safina is the best player without a slam. I mean, she was in 3 finals. She was like the Zverev of the 2000s for the ladies. I mean, she was right there. She had massive chances. And yeah, I would definitely be putting her there. Is it a forehand now cross court? Into the forehand of Medvedev. Forehand now from Stan. Again, the forehand of Medi. Into the backhand slice of Stan. Medvedev backhand. Into the forehand of Stan. Medvedev slice. Can't get it. 30-all. I'll say this, though, about Pliskova, because Pliskova, it's not a bad... If you say Pliskova, it's not like that's wrong. I think Pliskova, with the benefit of... if she retired tomorrow, and you said Pliskova is the best player without a slam, I think in 10 years, when we look back and we see who won slams in the time when Pliskova had the best chance, maybe you could argue, yeah, Pliskova had a chance. She should have won this. She should have won that. But when she made the final of the US Open and she got to world number 1, Serena was still prime. Serena was this was pre-pregnant Serena, right? So Serena was still dominating the tour when she peaked, when Pliskova was peaking. But she probably could have won. She probably could have won Wimbledon when Barty won, 21 Wimbledon. She had a chance, but even then, Barty then went on to win the 22 Australian. So you go, well, Barty was it was Barty's tour in 21. But I could, she wouldn't be a bad answer if you said Pliskova. You could make an argument for her. But I still think Safina was it. Anyways, good serve from Wawrinka. He leads 2-1. And there's probably players there's players in the 90s or the 80s that we probably don't remember as much, but they should also be mentioned because there's probably players back then that made 4 Grand Slam finals that we don't know about. Which is why we always base it on recency when we do this, when we talk about this stuff. Because we don't remember, we need to go back into the history books. I mean, look, Dementieva is another good answer. I think the difference, though, is that Dementieva wasn't number 1 in the world, but she should have won. I mean, did she win the Sydney Olympics? And then she made finals of slams? Yeah, I think Dementieva probably is top 3, maybe top 5 players without a slam. Because she should have won 2003 US French Open, right? Dementieva won the French. No, she didn't. She didn't win anything. She won a gold medal in Sydney, I think. And then I think she got a Sydney. Did she get a silver in Athens? No. So she won. Sorry, she won the Beijing Olympics, and then she got the silver medal in Sydney. I mean, that's a long time between. Made a final of the US, final of the French. 04, sorry, 04, not 03. 04. And she lost to two younger Russians. And at the time, Kuznetsova was not known. Dementieva was in prime. And then she made a couple of semis in slams. I mean, she retired kind of early too. She retired at, I think in like late 20s. But I mean, look, I'm looking at her record at slams, and she made finals in 2004. She made multiple semis at the end of the 2000s. I mean, 2008, she made one quarter and two semis. 2009, she made two semis. 2010, she made a semi-final. I mean, there were chances. There were a lot of chances. She was right up there. Number 3 in the world. In her prime. Yeah, there were chances. I mean, she won the Beijing Olympics in 2008. That was... And she beat Safina in that final. Safina, though, she was number 1 in the world. And she made 3 Grand Slam finals between 08 French and 09 French. And the semis of Wimbledon and the semis of the US. I'll tell you, chat, if you remember those times, I mean, Sharapova was the Russian player of the 2000s, but there was a lot of good Russian players in the 2000s. There was an army of players it was Safin on the men's side. I mean, Yuzhny wasn't bad, and then on the women's side, you had Sharapova was the popular one, but you had Kuznetsova, Dementieva, Safina, Petrova was on that list somewhere. Moschina won a slam. I mean, that the 2000s Russian tennis players. I mean, and even to this day, I mean, that set the tone for now. Right now, we've got over the last on the women's side for sure. I mean, over the women's side for the last 10, 15 years, it's continued. Right, Russian tennis has been ridiculous on the women's side. The amount of players that they have. And then you've got the whole of the Kazakhstan tennis team are Russian too. So you go, well, shit, there's too many Russians. So now they've had to go to other countries so that they can get funding to play. They had too many players coming out of Russia. They couldn't afford them. I mean, if you go Russian-born players since since '95, there's a long list. That might be the most dominant country since 95. Yeah, since Kafelnikov. 15-0. Crazy, man. Anyways, 15-0. 2-0 in the second. I mean, obviously the Americans are probably more dominant in tennis over the last 30 years because of Serena and Venus and Davenport and Coco now and then Sampras and Agassi and Roddick and those kind of players, but still, Russian tennis was ridiculous and is ridiculous. 15:30. I might be late to this, but I love your Alcaraz shirt display. Hey, thank you, Amy. Appreciate it. I think it's coming up pretty good too. Capriati, yeah. Capriati's another one I missed out on. Capriati. I'm sure there's other players. Back into the forehand of Stan. Forehand out from Medvedev. Into the forehand of Stan. As Medvedev forehand on the stretch. Goes in the net. 30-0. Yeah, Salas, but she was early, she was American in the early 90s, right? All right. right, 30 all. Good serve out wide from Stan, 40-30. (40-30). First serve is a fault, second serve. Second serve in the backhand of Medvedev. Return goes into the backhand of Stan. Medvedev forehand again, the backhand of Stan. Into the backhand of Medvedev. Stan backhand slice. Medvedev again to the backhand of Stan as Medi backhand again to the slice of Stan. Stan hits it wide. We get the deuce. Did Sabalenka change nationalities too? No. Belarus is not. It's its own country. Belarus is its own thing. Like Belarus and Russia are neighbors. They're not the same place. They're two different places. And Sabalenka was born in Belarus. Deuce. As the return goes into the backhand of Wawrinka. Backhand from Medvedev. Into the backhand of Stan. Down the line of the forehand of Medvedev. Stan forehand. Again to the forehand of Medi. Into the backhand of Stan. Medvedev forehand cross court. Stan gets it back, but overhits it. Advantage Medvedev. Advantage Medvedev. Have I been to Belarus? It feels quite mysterious. No, I've never been there. I only ask because Ukrainian players don't shake her hand either. Okay. Do you know why? I feel like you could Google it and it would, like 2 seconds, you'd know why. It's been like 4 years, 5 years, right? 4 years. Backhand now down the line of the forehand of Medvedev. Backhand now from Stan. Into the backhand of Medvedev. Stan with the forehand on the stretch. Medvedev forehand again to the backhand of Stan. Medvedev backhand on the stretch. Goes long and Stan survives. Deuce. Which Belarusian tennis player has been better? Sabalenka or Azarenka? Sabalenka. It's got to be Sabalenka. It's got to be, right? Twice as many slams. Probably more weeks at world number one. I'm guessing Stan gets to advantage. Azarenka 19 weeks at world number one. Sabalenka 79 weeks. Yeah, Sabalenka, no brainer. All right, advantage of Wawrinka. Venus must retire permanently. You must retire commenting. As that goes out from Medvedev and Stan keeps hold. He stays in front 3-2. 3-2 Wawrinka in the second. He's just going to hang on to this lead. 3-2. Three and two. All right. I forgot how good Azarenka was, and for Sabalenka to be even better is incredible. Yeah. Stan have a chance to win? I think so. He could fight back for sure. All right. By the way, Sabalenka currently is the 11th most weeks at world number one. Sorry, Azarenka had 51 weeks. My bad. I don't know what I was reading. 51 weeks at number one. Sabalenka 79. So still Sabalenka, but sorry, I didn't get the... Why doesn't it tell me that? Oh, okay. It's telling me that... I was reading the wrong part. Yeah, so 51 weeks back in the early 2010s. But yeah, 79 weeks. If she gets to 100 weeks, she'll overtake Lindsay Davenport and become number 10 all-time weeks at world number 1. Swiatek is number 7. So there's like Sabalenka, Swiatek are fighting for that honor of being the best player of the generation. But Swiatek, by the way, I was doing some research because I was bored and I get like, I don't know, I just kind of things pop in my head and I'm like, I really want to know these things because we talk about these things on stream. We're going back to Swiatek for a second because I want to just like, you know, give her so much praise because she is the best player of this generation. So with her winning 3 French Opens in a row, I was trying to, I thought, because, you know, the word three-peat, and this is coming from me watching Last Dance where Chicago Bulls did a three-peat twice. In tennis, we kind of take it for granted that like people do it, whereas Alcaraz and Sinner haven't done it, right? So I've been doing some research for pre-French Open to get ready for the French Open because Alcaraz is on a three-peat, right? And he couldn't win 3 Wimbledons in a row, and Sinner couldn't win 3 Australian Opens in a row. And I was wondering, I'm like, is it really that hard? Like, or are these guys, like, is it, like, because it feels like a lot, because Djokovic, Nadal, Federer, they would win 3 in a row all the time, right? And we're like, oh, that's easy, right? And I did some research, and then I did on the lady side as well. Swiatek winning 3 French Opens in a row is the first player since Serena in the US Open to win 3 in a row. Sabalenka's been on a three-peat already at the Australian Open and lost. She's coming for a three-peat this year in New York. She'll be the 3rd player in the Open era to win the US Open 3 times in a row, if she does it. So it's not easy. Swiatek became the 3rd player in the Open era to win 3 French Opens in a row. On the women's side, it seems to be easier in the Open era to win 3 Australian Opens in a row. But then again, you look back at the early 70s and, you know, where the Australians were more dominant and they won the Australian Open. You know, so it's maybe a little skewed. But on the men's side, besides Nadal dominating Roland Garros and Djokovic, by the way, Djokovic is the only player to three-peat in the Open era in the Australian Open on the men's side. That's crazy. And besides Federer winning 5 US Opens in a row, it's actually really hard to win 3 Grand Slams in a row. Like, it's not easy. Like, if you win 3 in a row, right, on the men's side, I'll name the players that have done it in the Open era. Djokovic, Borg, Nadal, Sampras, Federer, McEnroe, Lendl. Those are the players that have won 3 Grand Slams at the same slam in a row. That's who you join, right? And obviously Djokovic has done it multiple times. Federer, you know, Sampras, Nadal, right? Borg's done it multiple times at different places. But, like, Connors didn't do it. Edberg didn't do it. Right? Alcaraz hasn't done it yet. He will. But he hasn't done it yet. Laver didn't do it. Laver didn't win 3 in a row. And that's even pre-Open era. I'm looking at, like, stats from pre-Open era. Yeah. I mean, Emerson won 4 Australian Opens in a row, but that was in a time when the pro slams were a thing and, you know, Laver and Rosewall weren't there. So it's not easy to win 3 in a row. So going to the French Open this year, a three-peat is a big deal. So, and I know I've spoken about this before with, like, you know, Alcaraz losing Wimbledon last year and Sinner losing the Australian Open this year and talking about how, like, you know, Sabalenka couldn't do it last year at the Australian. Like, 3 in a row is hard at slams. So, Alcaraz winning the French Open this year is going to be, and you know, Sabalenka winning the US Open. They're trying to do things that haven't been done. On the women's side, Yvonne Goolagong-Cawley, Steffi, Salas, Hingis, Swiatek, Navratilova, Serena, and Chris Evert. That's the list. And Serena only did a three-peat once, and that was at the US Open in the mid-2000s, which she dominated. So it's like it's not easy. Winning 3 in a row is not easy. Serena won 23 slams. She only won 3 in a row at one slam once. She won 23. Like, that's crazy. Yeah, Martina won 6 Wimbledon in a row. That was nuts. And Borg won a lot of slams in a row at, French Open, Wimbledon. But to win 3 in a row is not a thing. Now, I haven't extended it to 1000s yet because I didn't have time, but I probably will just to see if winning 3 1000s is more common. I would guess it is, but yeah, winning 3 Grand Slams in a row, and Agassi didn't do it, right? 30 or Medvedev. So yeah, so just keep that in mind when we go to the French Open. That Alcaraz is trying to join a list of players. It's a very exclusive club to win 3 of the same slams in a row. We've just been spoiled by seeing Nadal win 5 in a row multiple times, right? Medvedev with a return, and Wawrinka puts in the net 30-40. Look, I don't doubt that Alcaraz could do it, but also got to remember that it's not something that just can happen. Players don't just win 3 in a row. It's not just a given. Yeah, it plays on the players' minds. Backhand goes into the forehand of Wawrinka. Off the tape goes in the forehand of Medvedev. Stan with the backhand. There's Medi. Backhand again, the slice of Stan. Medvedev backhand slice. It's a drop shot, but Stan gets with a pass. Oh, he missed it though. Wait, did Medvedev hit it? No, he didn't. Medvedev luckily missed the volley, and Stan hit it wide. 4-3 Medvedev. All right. And I also did an experiment of seeing how many players have won 2 in a row and lost. There's a long list of players that won 2 in a row and lost. There's a long list of players that have won twice and going for a three-peat and failed. So I know that a three-peat is not really a thing in tennis, or at least it's not it has been recently, but it's not it's always been 3 in a row has been a thing in NBA, right? That's been a big deal. But I tell you, you tell that to the players that have gone to try and win 3 in a row. I mean, Federer tried, couldn't win 3 Australian Opens in a row. He tried twice. Djokovic, right? He tried to win the 3. He's won the 3 Australian Opens before, but I mean, the Australian Open, in the Open era alone, there are multiple players who won 2 in a row but couldn't win the 3rd. Courier, Lendl, Agassi, Federer, Sinner, Vilas, Rosewell, Villander, all won 2 in a row and got to the 3rd, tried to win the 3rd and couldn't get there. A few players made the final, but they couldn't win it. At Wimbledon, Laver, Newcomb, McEnroe, Becker, and Alcaraz, right? That's a crazy list. At the US Open, you had Connors, Edberg, Sampras, and Rafter failing at a three-peat. There's definitely more players that lose a three-peat than win. It's just that Nadal winning the French Open so many times and Djokovic dominating at the Australian Open broke our brain. And then Federer dominating the US and Wimbledon, we thought, so they did it, so everyone does it. No, it's such a tough, that is such a hard thing to do. So Alcaraz winning 3, I wouldn't be surprised if he has some really weird, really strange. I mean, remember Wimbledon? He was gone for 3 in a row, and that first round against Fognini, he has a 5-setter. You got to think that some part of his brain is thinking, I'm on the journey to try and win 3 in a row, and that's really hard to do. And then he plays against Fognini. Fognini played great that day, but also Fognini in 2025 shouldn't be taking Alcaraz to 5 sets, right? So I'm really keen to see how Carlos is in the first week of Roland Garros. Because that's going to be, if the three-peats on his, because we're going to be talking about three-peats, if that's on his mind, he might have some weird matches in the first week while he's trying to do stuff. Three-peat is something different. A lot of players go back-to-back, but only the best the very few go three-peat. Well, that's it. The same as with tennis, though. Like I mentioned, there's only a handful of players that are, there's probably about 9 or 10 players that have done it in the history of tennis, history of the Open era. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 7 players have won 3 in a row at the same slam on the men's side. 7 players. So it's pretty elite. 15-30. There's been ace from Medvedev. 30. But yeah, I'm gonna do a list of. I'm gonna try and go through the list of players that have won 2 in a row. Oh, sorry, won 3 in a row at other tournaments. All right, 40-30 Medvedev. All right. Medvedev holds 5-3. All right, Wawrinka going to serve to stay in the match now. He wins the first point, 15-love. All right, 15-all. All right, 15-30. Medvedev wants to get this done now. Stan serves the fault, second serve. To the backhand from Stan. Into the forehand of Medvedev. Stan with a backhand slice. Into the backhand of Medi. Again to the Stan slice. But Stan in the net. Match points Medi. 15-40. Medvedev's just been a little bit too strong. And Stan has been outclassed. Great return, Medvedev. Medi takes it in straights. 2 and 3. That was impressive by Medvedev. Great serving. And he knocks Stan out in the second round. But I expected that to be a lot tougher. But Medvedev too good. I'll tell you, when Medvedev's on, he is on. All right, GG's. Sharapova won 3 straight Roland Garros finals in 12 and 14. I don't think she did. I think she won in 12 and 14. I don't think she won 3. She won 3 French Opens. She won 5 titles and 4 different ones. There's no way no way. She might have won 2014, 2012, but she didn't win 2013. Yeah, she won 2013. 2013, she lost in the final. Did you say finals or did you say titles? She lost to Serena in 2013. She made 3 straight What did you say? Oh, you said finals. Yeah. Sorry, I read that wrong. I thought you said 3. I thought we were talking about 3 titles. Yeah, she made 3 finals in a row. But that's not a 3-peat. You got to win the titles. Losing means you don't win the title. You got to win the title to make it a 3-peat. All right. Well, that was fun. I'm not sure what we're going to do tomorrow. Because I don't even know what's happening tomorrow. What matches are on tomorrow? We might actually not watch anything tomorrow. Actually, no, sorry, that's a lie. Tomorrow night we might, for my time. We might watch some quarterfinal action in Dubai because the quarterfinals are starting to get pretty interesting. So yeah, we're not going to watch Mexico tomorrow. We're not going to watch Santiago. We're not going to watch Austin. Acapulco tomorrow. Is there anything worth watching? Zverev? Nah. Yeah, so we probably won't watch anything tomorrow. Unless I change my mind when I wake up tomorrow. Or today. But then we might, like I said, quarterfinals of Dubai. Like Medvedev versus Hashanov. Rublev Draper is the one that I'm like, that's something we got to watch. If Draper can get through. And Rublev. So Draper Rublev might be the one we watch tomorrow. Yeah, Draper Rublev will be on the card. Yeah, Bublik Menchik also could be a quarterfinal. Oh, the tournament's doing a retirement ceremony for Stan. Oh, that's lovely. He'd be sick of those by the end of the year. Yeah, Menchik Bublik could be very interesting. But yeah, Hashanov and Brooksby won the first set. Rinderknecht could beat Draper for sure. That could happen. No doubt. Brooksby doing very well, yeah. All right. Well, that's it, chat. That's the stream. But we'll be back tomorrow, I'm sure. I'm sure we'll be back tomorrow. Is there an argument that Medvedev is the weakest Grand Slam champion of all time compared to the rest? No. No, not at all. Not at all. No. I mean, compared to what? The last 10 years? Maybe. But like, all time? Hell no. I don't want to name names because I feel like it's disrespectful, but I can think of a lot of players, especially early 2000s players that won a slam, and there's a lot of players in the early 2000s that you could probably think of. You could probably think of some players in the 90s that even the 80s and the 70s. Also, you could think of some Australian Open champions in the early days. I don't know. I mean, I'm not naming names because I don't want to. I feel like if you win, I mean, it sounds silly, right? Weakest Grand Slam champion? I'd be a weak Grand Slam champion over a strong no champion, right? All day. Like, weak Grand Slam champion? Yeah, but like, look at my French Open. like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, I'll take the weakest Grand Slam champion, but like, look at my US Open. like, I don't give a shit. Strongest player without a slam? Look at my empty closet. Like, what do you mean? Like, you know, it's just like such a silly thing to think about. I'm sure those players are not thinking I'm the weakest. They're thinking I've got a slam. Get stuffed. But yeah, Medvedev is not that guy. There are players on the there are other players that I would put on the list ahead of Medvedev. Medvedev's been number one in the world. How can you say he's been weaker when he's been the best player on the planet at some point? Yeah, don't name names in the chat. Jesus. That's why I'm not naming names. Don't you start. Just don't. You can think about it, but just don't. You just do some research. Like, just Google one-time slam champions and then just go down the list of those and just go, okay, Medvedev, better than him, better than him, better than him. Yeah. But there's a lot. Yeah, just look at one slam wonders and you could probably find a handful of players that Medvedev is better than. He's not the weakest at all. At all. He's made like 6 Grand Slam finals. Anyways. It's so funny when, like I say, don't name names, and then someone comes in and says, this guy! Did you not listen to what I said? I said, don't name names. Don't be disrespectful. Respect Grand Slam champions. Don't name names. Oh, I'll name a name. So you're that kid at school, were you? When the teacher says something and you would like do the opposite? Yeah, you're the kid that got us all staying back at recess because you couldn't shut up. See, those kids were annoying. You know, remember those kids, chat? You'd be like, the teacher's just like, oh yeah, you know, nobody's getting out until everybody shuts the hell up before recess. And then this one kid would be like, oh, no, that's you. Why are you doing that? You ruin it for everybody else. They'd be like, oh, you forgot to give us homework. Oh, shut up. You said you were going to give us homework. Shut up. Nobody likes that kid. Anyways, just went on a tangent. It's fine. I'll be back tomorrow. God, and then people keep naming names. Stop naming names. Stop with the disrespect. I didn't ask for names. I said I'm not naming names and you should pay attention. Wasn't Leighton one of them? You shut your mouth. You shut your mouth. You say Leighton won 2 slams. Shut your mouth. I know you're saying that to annoy me, so I'm not going to engage, but quiet. You be quiet. Don't you dare say Leighton. How dare you? Anyways, I'll see you tomorrow. Medvedev wins. By the way, both these guys are probably in the Hall of Fame at some point. If Stan doesn't get Hall of Fame, that would be crazy. He's got to be a Hall of Famer at some point. Same with Medvedev. Both these guys, I'm sure, will get inducted in the future. But Medvedev wins, and he's into the third round. Quarterfinals. He's in the quarterfinals. And we'll probably watch some of the quarterfinals tomorrow. I'll see you then.